In the spring of 1042, the great city of Constantinople simmered with unrest. Its golden domes gleamed under the sun, yet behind its marble walls, treachery and ambition moved like shadows. Deep within the imperial prison, a man sat in chains, a man whose name would echo across the ages. He was Harald Sigurdsson, the Norse warrior the world would come to know as Harald Hardrada. But before we set sail into the storm of history, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Every click helps us bring more forgotten legends back to life. So join us as we follow the footsteps of the last great Viking. Once, Harald had walked these streets not as a prisoner, but as a commander of the Emperor's own Varangian Guard, an elite corps of axe-wielding warriors. From the cold north, he had come years earlier, bringing with him a band of hardened Norsemen to sell their swords in the service of the Byzantine Empire. Under Emperor Michael IV, he had fought in distant campaigns, in the burning heat of Sicily, against Saracen strongholds, and in the rugged mountains of Bulgaria, crushing rebellions. Victory after victory had brought him wealth, titles and honor. But in Byzantium, power shifts like the tides. When Michael IV died, his nephew, Michael V, seized the throne. Suspicious of the Varangians and jealous of Harold's growing influence, the new emperor turned on him. The charges against Harald would depend on who told the story. In the sagas, he was accused of embezzlement, taking gold from the spoils of war that should have gone to the emperor. Saxo Grammaticus claimed he committed murder. William of Malmesbury went further, hinting at a scandal involving a Byzantine noblewoman. Whatever the truth, the result was the same. Harald was seized, stripped of his command, and thrown into the city's dreaded prison. Days turned into weeks. Beyond the prison walls, the city seethed. The emperor had exiled the popular Empress Zoe, a ruler beloved by the people and the nobility alike. The insult could not stand. By June, Constantinople erupted in revolt. Citizens poured into the streets, demanding Zoe's return. The great hippodrome shook with the cries of the mob. And in the chaos, fate turned its gaze toward Harald once more. One version of the tale tells of a noblewoman, miraculously healed by the sainted Olaf, Harald's own half-brother, who came to his cell in the dead of night to set him free. Another claims that loyal Varangians, still hidden within the palace guard, broke into the prison to release their commander. The truth is lost to history, but what followed is certain. Harald was no longer a prisoner. He did not simply flee. Harald joined the uprising, rallying his men to the Empress's cause. Together they stormed the palace, cutting through the defenders. Michael V was captured and blinded, a punishment from which no emperor could return. Yet Harald knew that victory in the city did not mean safety. Enemies remained, and in the shifting politics of Byzantium, today's hero could be tomorrow's traitor. He needed to escape, completely. With a small band of Varangians, Harald made for the harbour. But there, a final obstacle awaited him, the great chain of the Golden Horn. This massive barrier of iron stretched across the water, anchored to stone towers on either side, preventing any ship from entering or leaving without imperial permission. To be caught here was to be trapped like a rat in a cage. Harald was no ordinary man. He ordered his crew to row with all their strength, building speed as they hurtled toward the chain. At the last moment, he commanded them to shift their weight to the stern. The bow of the ship rose high, and with a bone-shaking crash, the vessel slid over the iron links. One of the ships was torn apart in the attempt, but Harald's longship survived, splashing into the open waters beyond. By the time the imperial fleet responded, it was too late. The Norseman was gone, his dragon-prowed ship cutting through the Bosphorus and into the Black Sea. From there, he sailed north to the court of Yaroslav the Wise, ruler of Kievan Rus. There, Harald reclaimed the hoards of gold he had entrusted to Yaroslav before his imprisonment. He wed Yaroslav's daughter, Elisiv, securing both wealth and royal alliance. When Harald returned to Scandinavia in 1046, it was as a man transformed. He had survived the treachery of the most powerful city in the medieval world, outwitted an emperor, and defied the unbreakable chain of the Golden Horn. Soon he would claim the throne of Norway, wage wars across Europe, and finally meet his fate at Stamford Bridge in 1066. But his escape from Constantinople would forever be one of his most daring exploits, a tale that straddles the line between history and legend. Whether freed by the hands of a grateful noblewoman, or by the loyalty of his Varangian brothers, whether the chain was overcome by brute force or brilliant seamanship, one truth remains. Harald Hardrada was a man who could not be caged. His enemies called him ruthless. His followers called him a king. History remembers him as the last great Viking. And on that day, in 1042, as his ship vanished beyond the horizon, he proved that even the walls of the world's mightiest empire could not hold him. If Harald Hardrada's daring escape stirred your imagination, give this video a like and subscribe for more tales of warriors, kings, and empires. The next saga awaits, and you won't want to miss it.